All right. All right, guys. Welcome to the Iconic Life podcast, where we gather around the virtual tables for real, soulful conversations about what it means to live a life of calling, wealth, joy, and purpose. I'm your host, Hannah Elsey. I'm the founder of Agora Wellness. I'm the creator of the Iconicity Movement. I call myself a transformation midwife and an overflow activator. And I'm a movement builder of a community of visionary women and men who are choosing to lead and live lives they are wildly in love with. Here, we don't do that surface level chatter. We go deep. We talk about truth and the kind of stories that remind us that we are limitless when we are walking in our divine purpose and identity. When I say living iconically, here's what I mean by that. It's remembering who you were created to be and choosing to live from that place fully and unapologetically. It's saying yes to your divine calling, even when it's messy, chaotic, stretchy, and building wealth, legacy, and joy from a place of overflow. It's leading movements, raising families, and co creating a life that feels like art with our Creator. Because living iconically means you don't just chase a dream, you are the dream. And today, we're going to dive into that again with my guest, Hailee. Welcome. The Zesty Blonde. I love your handle.
Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome, Hailee. I'm so glad that you're here with us today.
I'm so excited to be here. And I'm like, I could just listen to you do that intro, your voice.
Oh,
Uh, I love it.
it's all good. So, Hailee and we've known each other, I guess, just about a year because
Oh my gosh.
I know, right? It feels like longer, and yet at the same time, it's like I blinked. But yeah, I think it was I want to say it was in January, December, maybe we did like that first mastermind, and we were in that one. I was on the road traveling across the country and trying to do a mastermind from my phone while that was fun. And that's where I met you. So anyway, and we've just reconnected, multiple times, in person now too, because we also got to meet in person, not just online. So it's been a lot of fun and just kind of seeing you blossom and grow and like being a mama and all the things. And it's just been so fun to see you like just take off and all the things you're doing. So I'm so glad you're here today. Like I said, this is not a formal place. I don't have like a formal introduction. I like to give you the mic and let you kind of introduce yourself, who you are, where you are in the world, and what you're doing. So go ahead, Haley.
Oh my goodness. I'm so excited to be here and I just adore you. So I know we're gonna have so much fun on today's podcast, but I'm Hailee Passey, aka the Zesty Blonde. And you'll learn really quickly why they call me that. That is not a name I gave myself, actually. My husband gave that to me,
Oh yeah.
which is really funny. It's really funny. There's a little backstory with that. But so I am a wealth expander and business
Mm,
strategist. So
love it.
I work with the women who are ready to step out of survival mode and scale to seven figures and beyond. So my focus is on helping women actually have the premium strategy and the personal power that's going to take them really, really far in business and really, really far in life. And I do that all from a really like faith-based, faith-centered approach. So I don't necessarily call myself a Christian coach because I work with women from all backgrounds, but I call the women in my world faith freaks because we operate in faith frequency. So that's a little bit about me. I also live on we call it a suburban homestead. We have an acre
Hmm.
of all types of animals on our little acre in
Oh,
suburbia. Pretty soon we'll be moving to more acreage in Tennessee, which I'm so excited for. I have an
ooh, fun.
almost 2-year-old, and time is flying by, and I absolutely love it. And I'm
Yeah.
married to the man of my dreams. So I am the luckiest girl in the world. But we
That's
also
beautiful.
have a second business that we just opened together. We are opening up a financial strategy agencies for people who
Okay.
maybe don't have $1 million sitting in a bank account that they don't, worry about losing. But those people who are more, you've never had the education and you need more of the background and more of the support on all levels of wealth. So that's a fun,
Love it.
we're working on with him. But yeah, that's a little
Awesome.
bit about me.
Okay. So we talk about like choosing our iconic life, and it's different for every person, right? Like your calling is not the same as my calling, right? It's very divinely placed dreams, I believe. And so it looks different for everybody and what that looks like. But what kind of drew you to choosing to do something different with your life? Were you always on this kind of entrepreneurial journey, or was there a moment in time you can remember, like when you're like, this is something different that I'm going to choose and I'm going to go for it, for my
Mhm.
dreams, for my goals?
So I grew up, my mom is very entrepreneurial. And she wasn't always super great at it. It's really funny because like when I launched my coaching business, she was still trying to get things off the ground. And I actually worked with her. And now finally she's built a multiple six-figure business. She's operating and running. So
Awesome.
I grew up with like that mindset of ain't no way I'm following the normal track. And actually what's so funny, I sometimes tell this story. My first business, I was 5 years old. I had business
Oh,
cards and everything. Like my mom has my business cards. It was
I
Haley's
love
Helping
it.
Hands.
Oh,
But I grew up like flirting with poverty, right? Like
mhm,
there were lots of dinners of ramen and frozen peas, lots of
mhm,
those. So
mhm.
we were not well off. My dad worked like three different jobs and there were five of us kids and we just, we didn't, and my parents didn't really know how money operated or any of that. And they were trying their
Yeah.
best. Um, so I really wanted to do ballet at 5 years old. I was going to be a ballerina no matter what, right? And my parents couldn't afford the classes. It was
Mm.
$100. They just couldn't afford it. And so they came up with this deal. If I came up with $50, they would put up the other 50
At 5 years old.
at 5 years old. And
Wow.
that was the initiation of, oh, I can make my own money. I can make my own way. I'm going to do the thing.
Mm.
Right. And
Wow.
so I went around sweeping people's floors, cleaning windows at 5 years old. I'm like,
That's so
it
awesome.
was so funny. I would get like a quarter here and a quarter there, and then people would donate, So
Yeah.
it was really cool
I would have
experience.
totally hired you at five.
I mean, right? Can you imagine a little 5-year-old just
Oh
coming
my
up
gosh.
with floors? And I got really
Oh,
good at sales too. So like
I love
that's a
it.
great initiation into that. And then, later on in life, I was going to college for marketing and business dev, and I was like, okay, this is cool, but I'm learning things that I already know are outdated. They don't work anymore.
Mm.
Like I'm learning a lot of this stuff, and I'm like, this isn't gonna work in the social media age, right?
Today's
I
world.
went, I went to college right about the time social media really started becoming a thing for businesses. And
Hmm.
so the school actually hired me as a marketing director for their graduate and continuing studies program while I was still in school. And that was the moment. And I really attribute, there's this man, his name is Roger Lamarca. If you ever listen to this, he probably won't. But I really attribute a lot of like the moment where I got to be like, oh shoot, I need to jump off this track to him.
Hmm.
Because
Okay.
he was like, actually, I have some friends who'd like to hire you as well. Do you do any like out of that? And I was like,
Oh.
he was my
Ding, ding,
boss at
ding.
the time, right? I was getting paid 12.50 an hour as a marketing director for this university. And as a college student, I was like, oh, amazing, I'm rich, right?
Made it.
And then I started doing like freelance work and I was like, whoa, wait a minute, I could be making way more money if I just
Uh-huh.
dropped out of school and focused on this. And that was kind of the thing that led me into launching a marketing agency and then making my pivot
Wow.
into coaching. So,
Wow, wow, wow. Okay, I love it. So you dropped out of school and did that then.
yep.
That was your moment. Yeah. Okay, that ooh, I love it. Beautiful stories. 5 years old, Hailee, and then college, Hailee. Like I see it, like right, and you saw it and you jumped.
Mhm.
Okay, I love this. So we know that just because you made that decision and made that jump, it doesn't mean that everything was always hunky dory, easy to
Oh
go,
my gosh,
right?
no.
Okay, yeah. So that's another part of the journey, the challenge of the journey, I think the beauty of it actually, because there's a lot that we learn in the challenges as too. So kind of walk us through something like that. Like
Mhm.
what were some of the obstacles that tested you as you were kind of coming through this journey or that you can think of? And how did you decide to like move through those challenges instead of letting them define you? And what
Mhm.
are some lessons that you've learned or strengths that were born from those seasons?
Mm. Okay, so when I made the decision to drop out of school, I actually was headhunted by a larger company out of Arizona. I was living in Utah, going to school at the time, and they found me on social media.
Hmm.
And the woman, I'm gonna fly you down to Arizona. You're gonna come meet the team, and we're gonna see if you're gonna a good fit for a social media marketing director. I was like, okay, cool. And they're like, yeah, and this would be your salary and all that. And I was like, this sounds like a scam because at this point I've never even,
Couldn't be that good.
yeah, no, like, what do you mean? But I went and I was like, oh, okay, like they can be one of my clients. I can do this kind of like freelance on the side. No, no. And that became, now looking back, I realized I hadn't decided yet.
Mm-hmm.
I hadn't fully decided entrepreneurship. I'm going to make this happen. And I didn't really see like the long-term vision. I knew I
Yeah.
wanted to work for myself. I am an unemployable human. I am not great, like doing the same thing. I can't do Groundhog Day. I have to be like stimulated and operating
Yes.
in this. So I was doing that for almost a year, getting paid really, really well. And then all of a sudden, some skeezy things went on the back end of that business, and
Okay.
everybody was let go.
Okay.
Cleaned house.
Like pull the
And
rug out.
it was
Mm.
so sudden. And like my work computer was the one I was doing like all my other client work on, and I didn't really have any like big clients. That was my biggest client. And my husband and I had uprooted and moved to Scottsdale, Arizona, which
Okay.
is a very bougie place, very expensive. We were paying, I want to say, like almost $1,800 a month, which back then was a lot. Now it's like
Yeah.
everybody's paying $1,800 a month for one bedroom. But for us, it was like, holy crap, right?
Yeah.
We went from spending $500 a month on rent to $1,800.
Right. Exactly. Perspective.
So we were like, holy crap, what are we gonna do? And my husband had a job, but it wasn't like it was a minimum wage, fresh
Yeah.
out of college job. It
Hmm.
wasn't anything crazy.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, well, I've got to figure it out. And it was a huge challenge. It was huge because I felt like, oh my gosh, what do I even do? Right.
Yeah.
And I had the option at that time to either, you know, just full send with a 9 to 5. I had the experience backing me up. I was
Hmm.
definitely very employable at that point from
Yeah.
a resume standpoint. But I told my husband, I can't go work for somebody again. I can't do it. Like, I can't have this type. I'm like, one, I need more clients so that I never have this happen to me ever again.
Right.
Right. And two, I like, there's no way I can continue to do this where I show up and work, 8 hours plus doing the exact same thing every day. I just can't do it. And so he's like, "Great. Well, we have a little bit in savings. You have 2 months to figure it out." So I launched my marketing agency for real instead of just doing freelance stuff.
Okay.
And I went from making $800 one month, my first month, to 8,000 super quick. And
That's
that I credit so much to that decision, right? Like
yeah. Yeah.
making the decision.
So
And
powerful, that decision, that point.
yeah.
And people say it different ways, but literally that is when things shift
Hmm.
energetically, all the things, right? Like
Yeah,
that's the moment when that line in the sand moment when you're like, yeah, no, this is my decision and there's no going back.
exactly.
Yeah, I hear
Yeah.
that.
And so facing that challenge head on of being like, okay, like the rug was ripped out from underneath me. I had one really big client and like one, side client that was paying me like $300 a month. And I just here, like going through all the feelings of that, going through all of that and having to make that decision was everything because I've had so many instances now in my business where I had to wake up and be like, oh yeah, a decision needs to be made. Oh yeah, I'm
Mhm.
struggling because I haven't decided yet. Oh yeah, like I'm feeling this because that was really like a domino moment for me.
Yeah, yeah, that's so powerful. Okay. I feel like we could go even deeper and I'm like, okay. Yeah, because it is so powerful. And I hear this over and over and over again in all the different people I'm talking to and who I get to interview on this podcast and other things like that. And I know in my life, like it is that decision point that is so powerful.
Hmm.
And I mean, I talk about this incessantly because, and with my kids, with my family, with my work, because once you make the decision, that's when things change, right? Up until that point, it can be all over the place. And it can be very frustrating too, I think, actually, when you're doing that, right? There's no like, there's too many choices, there's too many obstacles. But once you make that decision, it's like everything else collapses and be like, boom, here we go. Yeah, I love that. Okay. Oh my goodness, how exciting. So, kind of walk us through what living an iconic life looks like for you in your like day to day, like in your, everyday like practices or choices that you make or values that you hold or like boundaries that you keep. Like what is the day to day, the kind of things that you guys do to kind of keep yourself focused on choosing and creating and living intentionally that iconic life for you?
Mm. One of the things that I'm constantly preaching to my clients, because I feel like this is something that happens at every level, and I have a story on this if you want me to share, but is staying tapped into the vision. Because
Mm,
it's easy to get really lost in the day to day. It's easy to like, my to-do list is a million miles long right now, especially like it being December as we're recording this.
right, right.
Like there's a million things I could be doing, but what matters most for the vision? And if I'm not
Mm,
consistently tapped into the vision, my life is chaos and I'm just putting out fires,
yeah,
right? Because there's so many things going on. Like we have a toddler and two businesses.
yeah,
People think we're wild, but we're able to stay on top of it simply because we know where we're going. And so we can
yeah.
be really clear about the steps to make that happen. And so for me, living an iconic life is not necessarily about like, okay, every day, like I'm showing up in bedecked in jewels and like a sparkly
Uh-huh.
jumpsuit and I'm like
Exactly.
showing up on social media live every day and trying to, it's okay, what's going to be the thing that's, the 80-20 rule, the 20% leads to 80%. What's going to
Yeah.
be that 20% for me today that's going to get me that much closer to living this vision or that be
Yes.
like fully in alignment with my mission of every day, leaving female entrepreneurs better than I found them, and
Yeah.
cracking open their ability to receive more and to create wealth. So
Yeah,
being really
definitely.
tapped into that and like that every morning, this is one of my practices every morning. I love reading scripture. And I usually spend like 20 minutes every morning. If I could spend more, I would. But now I have a toddler, and so that doesn't always happen.
Yes.
But
The luxury of all the
right,
time.
the luxury of having I'm like I do slow mornings, but they really look like chaos and cleaning up three messes and, trying to
Right.
situate the child for a minute so I can think clearly. Slow, because, but
Because you're there. You're doing
'cause,
life. But
present,
yes.
but,
Yes.
but I love my time in the morning sitting and journaling and spending time with God and
Hmm.
just
Yeah.
listening to his word, listening to inspiration and revelation and really anchoring in that and then
Yeah.
moving forward with my day. And that's really where I'm getting, and this is why I call my people faith freaks, right? Like this is why I call the women inside my world. Like you have to operate in faith frequency. You have to anchor yourself in that on a regular basis.
Yeah.
So because you have to raise your level of faith to match the miracle that you're calling in, right? And so that's my morning. My morning is anchoring in faith frequency so that I
Yeah.
can, be operating at this level, this higher level, and be connecting to a higher source, and
Yeah.
then moving with that purpose and intention, that vision that comes from doing that on a regular basis.
I love that. Yeah. Keeping yourself course correcting back onto the right spot with that grounding every day. Yeah. No, that's the way to do it. I love it. And it's the little things, like you said, it's 20 minutes, but
Mhm.
that 20 minutes is the impact in your life, right? Have you ever read the book, The Slight Edge? It's those compounding things, right? The
Mhm.
little bit, the little bit, the little bit, but you're building this beautiful foundation again upon which you get to build your empire, your business, like all the things, right? Your vision, your mission is on this solid foundation that's built in the everyday, the little disciplines. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So tell us about like what are some of the ripple like you're creating this beautiful like vision for women and then like with your husband sounds like you're doing this like financial like helping people like get I guess I'm not sure what the word is like I want to say overflowing with finances and things like that but that might not be the right phrase um but so you're creating these beautiful like a movement it sounds like right tell us a little bit more about like what are the ripples that you're seeing that you're so proud of creating, like in the work that you're doing right now? Like, what are you seeing as results that you're so proud of, or like, how do you see your calling kind of evolving as you guys are stepping into this new season with this work?
So originally, when I launched my business, it was to help women to get to six figures, or I was like the basics, the foundation. Like, let's build you a six-figure
Mhm.
business so you can be home with your babies. That was
Yeah.
the whole focus. I loved that. And
Mhm.
then since then, it's really evolved, right? Because all these women start making that money, and then they're like,
Now what?
what? Yeah. Like, what do I do? One, because going from zero to six figures is a different ball game than six to seven, right?
Hmm. For
And
sure.
I think that most people think they can just push harder do more of what they did to get to six figures to get to seven.
The
And
seven.
also, there's there's this idea in entrepreneurs' brains that revenue equals wealth. It does not,
Mm,
right? Revenue is a separate thing. Revenue is your business, babe. Like we need to get that really clear. Wealth is what you're building for yourself and your family long term.
boom. Yes.
And I had this realization actually earlier this year, and this is last year I really started to build the rich and relaxed movement, which is where we've been focusing a lot of our energy. Um, because I had a baby and I was like, holy crap, the like earth shattering
Mm,
change here. What are we doing?
yes.
You know?
Yes.
And I was like, I felt like I felt the rug pulled out from underneath me again. And I like everything shifted and all of a sudden like my everything cracked open. So I was like, I want to help women be rich and relaxed. I want to help them stop white knuckle gripping or feeling like they have to work 40 plus hours every week. And all these
Mm,
things. Let's simplify and amplify their gifts. Let's make this make the path to multiple six and seven figures simple. But then the beginning of this year is when I was introduced to what my husband and I are doing now, and which is financial strategy for families. And I remember turning to my husband and being like, holy, because he's been doing this for a while. He's been a financial strategist for a few years now. I was like,
okay.
why didn't you tell me? You're doing this. I was like, I'm looking at women who are making, like 30, 50, 80K in their business every month. And at the end of the month, they're like, where did my money go? And I'm
Mm,
like, it's gonna like we've got monthly recurring. You're gonna have more come in next month, but that's you're constantly in a state of survival if you don't know how your money is building for you outside of your business. That's a
right.
problem, right? Like that's a big issue. And I see a lot of business coaches talk about amplifying your revenue and not like the back end of that because it doesn't matter how much money you can make if you can't hold any of it and if you can't build off of it. And
Yeah.
so that was like a huge deal for me and something that started to become a ripple effect, right? To go back to the long way around of answering, but
I love it.
like it's such an important aspect of business. If you're going to have a business, it does not matter if you make a fudge ton of money. I'm sorry. You can make, and I've seen this happen. It's funny. I'm like watching a lot of coaches that I've been connected to for a while that I know really well that have made seven figures lose it all because they didn't
Yeah.
build wealth on the back end. They didn't teach them, like, they didn't learn how to hold it. They didn't learn how to put a strategy in place. They just learned how to burn money. And that's
Yes.
like, this is where people are becoming coach poor and they're becoming, like all of these things. And so a lot of the things that I've been seeing and what's been shifting for my clients beyond like the ability to have a rich and relaxed sales strategy that consistently brings in money so you can relax into like I know my gifts are incredible and people are going to pay me consistently. I can post and people buy. Beyond that, being able to turn around and say, and I'm also investing for my future. I'm building for my future. I'm creating a financial strategy that's going to actually build generational wealth and
Yes.
where I know I'm not going to have to be shaking my booty on Instagram stories for the next 20 years to sell a course. You know what I mean? Like
Great visual. But
that's
yeah.
like
Yeah.
that. I
No,
don't
but
want.
that's it.
I'm
Yeah.
like having a baby woke that up in me. I went, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm not.
Something's got to change.
I will
Yeah.
probably never retire just because I love what I do so much and the vision is so big, but I will not be shaking my booty on Instagram stories trying to sell a course whatever.
Yeah.
It's just like
And you'll have the freedom to shift things around and do it in a different way as different phases come
and
in, right?
that's what wealth building does for you. As
Yeah.
and it just all goes back to like so many of my clients have shifted from like I could talk about the rich and relaxed wins of like women creating 100K in a weekend and like having these insane launches and making this insane money and stacking monthly recurring revenue, which is happening all the time. But I think what's more important, as I'm starting to see now that I have a more zoomed out view and I've been doing this for long enough, is oh my gosh, these women are finally like mastering the masculine side of money, of like where do we put it so that it makes
Mm,
sense,
the
where
structure.
yeah, like how do
Yeah.
I support myself so much that or build like this financial strategy that supports me on the back end so I can actually make different moves in my business that are going to 10x in the future instead of worrying about short-term cash flow.
Yeah. No, that's so powerful because like you said, if you're just if it's just running through, that means nothing other than burnout.
I heard something on a podcast today that made me cackle. She was talking about how like she struggled to hold money. And I went, yeah. And she's like, yeah, I spent it like I stole it. And I was like, you know what? That is a great.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. No, that's so true. And there's a lot to be said for that. I think there's so much about like the energetics of
Mm,
your relationship with money and things like that, which I love to share and teach about because there is something about expanding and calibrating to be able to hold it, like you said.
right,
Because otherwise it's just running through and there's no benefit to that.
right.
And I too feel very strongly about building that generational wealth. Like we are changing things for our lineage, right? Like
Mhm.
not just right now, we're thinking for the future.
Yep.
Yeah, I love it. Mm, so exciting. Okay. So do you have anything like, so this, let's see, this is December 22nd. It's right before Christmas. So we're coming up to the end of this year, 2025, about to, come into the new year. I actually think this is going to come out like the first or second week of the new year. So are there any like new programs or launches or anything that you have coming up that you want to share about that people can join you and, what's coming up new for you?
So at the time of this release, if it releases in early January, there is a short-term money container, money and
Mm.
sales, and it's focused on helping you master the art of quickly selling.
Ooh, love it.
It's gonna be so juicy, and I can't release the name of it yet. It's still a mystery offer. But if you find me on social media, you can probably still join. So that's gonna again help you master the art of stacking sales and making sales very quickly instead of sitting in perfectionism, being able
Mm-hmm.
to just collect money from all sources. Like you turn on the faith freak energy, become and implement the sales flow that I'm going to teach you in this container, and money like sales are just going to stack. So that's happening. And
Magnetize it. Mm.
uh,
I love it.
then
So
I
that's
also,
in, I'm sorry, that you said that's in
yeah,
January. That's what you
yeah,
said?
that's gonna be happening
Okay.
in January. Yep. And then
Okay.
there's going to be a new membership released very, very shortly.
Ooh.
I'm so excited about
Okay.
it. So,
All
of
right.
course, I have the mastermind, the expansion mastermind, which is always there's usually one spot available for the
A
right
rotating seat.
for the right woman.
Yeah, I
Um,
hear that.
but it, that's also an incredible container. So there's
Okay.
some juicy, juicy things coming up. If you find me on social media, you will be able to take a peek at what we've got
So
going.
speaking of that, where can people find you online?
You can find me at Zesty Blonde, blonde with an E.
I
So
love
if
it.
you're on social media, you should be able to find me from at Zesty Blonde.
I love it. Yep. I love your name. All right. So yes, find Haley online, you guys. Reach out, see what she's doing, see how her work can benefit you guys and whatnot. So as we're starting to wrap up, I want you to speak to the woman or man who's listening and who is feeling that tug towards some of these things you've been sharing, like feeling that tug for creating their iconic life, but they haven't yet decided or stepped fully into it, right? So, what is one truth that you'd want them to hold on to today, or maybe a small brave step that you would challenge them lovingly to do?
Mm. I would say that the struggle that you're feeling right now, the stuckness that you're feeling right now, as you're looking at the desire is there, but you haven't made the decision, right? Inevitably, that brings up the stuck struggle. And that is simply because you haven't decided yet.
Mm,
And so it's time for you to sit and decide. Like, sit with what do you need to decide? Do you need to decide that the goal you keep setting for yourself is something you actually want and then get behind it? Do you need to decide that you're going to make a change? I promise everything that you're feeling, the resistance, the struggle, is simply because you haven't made the decision yet.
Yeah.
It's not because you're wrong for wanting it, and it's not because it's not possible for you. It's because you haven't decided.
Yeah. Because you are limitless when you're walking and you're calling. Like I 100% believe that. And I say it all the time, but that is true. And you're right. The stuckness that resists is when you haven't
Mhm.
clarified and like, let's boom, let's just go. The decision, the deciding.
It was deciding. 100%. I was having a conversation with a client of mine where I told her a couple months ago, I said, it might take time for you to do this because you keep holding yourself back from deciding. And she made a
Mm-hmm.
decision like late last month in November. And she's like, I am having a 50K cash month. I'm
Love
like,
it.
imagine that,
Yay.
like,
Results happen when you
yep.
decide. Yeah,
Mhm.
no, that's
Yep.
so exciting. That's awesome. I love it. All right, guys. So, well, actually, before we jump to this, Haley, I have a couple of fun questions I like to ask at the end
Okay,
of all my
ready.
guests.
Let's
So,
go.
what is a favorite drink and food, either right now or all time?
Okay, my favorite food group is tacos.
Oh
Um,
gosh. Okay. Yeah. How can you go wrong with tacos?
right,
That's
you
like,
can't.
yeah,
My favorite food group. People always
food
ask, like,
group.
what
I
do you
love
think
it. I
of
was
food?
like, it's a food group.
You can put anything in a taco, right? But a little bit of lime on top is great. I love it.
Oh gosh,
It's
yeah.
so good.
Totally.
So that's my favorite food. And then my favorite drink right now. This is it. I'm a weirdo. I'm a water girly. But I
Mm,
love a good like water and lemon water and some fruit
yeah.
right in there.
Can't beat it, right?
But I love my yerba mate. I love my yerba mate.
No, I've not had that, so that's a good one.
Caffeinated
Okay.
beverage. This I'm like show you. This
Yeah, I've seen them. I've never, so good stuff. I've never tried it, but I've seen it.
yeah.
All right, so yerba mate and then a good water. Yeah, no, I'm all about that. All right, what kind of water are you? What kind of water girl?
Like I'm a filtered water. I'm a water
Uh-huh.
student.
Yeah.
So, but if you're meaning like what do I put in my water?
Actually, I meant the filter
Okay, yeah, yeah.
because
No.
I am
So
also a filter stuff. Water
the
stuff.
filter I have looks like a fish tank, and it's so funny when people come over, they're like, "Is that your fish tank?" And I'm
Ooh,
like,
like a fish
"Are
tank.
you gonna drink while you're here? You're welcome." But because it has like mineral rocks in the bottom, but it's called a PyMag filtration system, and
Okay.
it's
I've
it's
never heard of
it's
that before.
it's phenomenal.
Okay, I have a Berkey, and then I will be getting a I can't think of the name of it, but it's like a hydrogen molecular water system
Yeah, yeah.
coming out soon. But
Yep.
yeah. So you said PyMag? Is that what you said?
PyMag. PyMag
Okay. I'm gonna check that
filtration
one too.
system. Yep, that one it like adds minerals back in. It does all of the
Yeah.
filtering that a Berkey does, but it adds minerals back in, and then
Back
it's
into it.
the right, the perfect pH for drinking. That's what it's specifically built for.
Kind
So
of like that. Okay, I'm gonna have to check that
cool.
one out now. I love it. Okay. And then dream vacation spot or dream or vacation that you have coming up.
Okay, well, my dream vacation spot has always been Italy, and we were planning on going in 2020, but stuff happened. And then
Oh,
our baby.
yeah.
So hopefully that will be on the list this year, but we'll see. We're actually taking our baby to Disney.
Oh, Disney
So
World or
excited.
Land?
Disney World. So
Oh.
I'm so excited. I'm like, that might be my new dream vacation just because I know she's gonna freak out. It's not for me, it's for her.
I don't know. It's for all of us. We're a Disney family too, so I'm totally like, yeah, no,
Well,
I'm
I'm
all
there for
about
the
that.
food. I'm there for the food, but like I know she's just gonna have like an absolute moment the moment
Yeah,
she
it's
meets Winnie the
so
Pooh.
precious.
Oh,
It's such like, yeah, it's a priceless thing. Yeah, the memories that we get from there hmm,
yeah.
are the priceless parts of it. So yeah, we love Disney. Oh, yay, have fun. And then Italy. So yeah, that's also on our bucket list. My daughter wants to go to Italy. My older daughter wants to go to Italy, so that's on our list for 2026.
I love it.
So yeah, fun times. I love it. Good things. All right, and then how about a favorite book that you're reading currently, or one that you've enjoyed in the last couple of months?
Mm. One of my favorite books will probably always be Atomic Habits.
I
A
just got
fan.
that one on
It's
my Audible. I haven't listened
fantastic.
to it yet.
Okay, I
Okay.
probably listen to it once a year. I listen to it in January.
Okay. Okay. I'll have to
Basically.
bump it up on my, I have like 5 books in my list all times. So I have
Yeah,
to bump
love
that one.
it. If you haven't, the other book that I would recommend is 10X is easier than
Oh,
2X.
I love that one. And I was actually re-listening to it again. Like yeah, that one's one of my, yeah, one of my top 5.
Yep, for sure.
Yeah, totally. I love it. Okay. So Atomic Habits. I'm going to have to bump that one up on the list now. All right. Cool. Love it. Uh, this has been fun, Haley. I've enjoyed this conversation. Thank you so much again for coming and, sharing your magic with us and your funness. So, yay. And then you guys, thank you so much for joining us for another conversation inside the Iconic Life podcast. Remember, this space exists for people who know that there is more available and they are willing to choose it to make that decision with intention. So here's what I want you to remember. Your life isn't built in the someday out there. It's shaped in the choices that you make right now, every day. The conversations you lean into, the standards you hold, the way you decide to live, lead, and love. An iconic life isn't something that you're chasing, it's something that you choose again and again every day. And you guys, if today's conversation stirred something inside of you, please share this episode with a friend. Leave us a review. That really helps. And help us kind of like spread this movement of women and men who are living, leading, and loving iconically. I'll meet you back here next time.